Up next, we have controversies surrounding Donald Trump. The first breaking story is that the Department of Justice has actually shared information, a new memo claiming that there's no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful individuals or had a client list. Maintains he committed suicide in a New York City jail. Now, I'm going to share the clip from Real News No Bullshit on Instagram. They actually posted the quick response to this. After this, we'll talk about the new third party Elon Musk wants to start, Donald Trump's response. But yeah, here, so they go, yeah, there's no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful individuals. But of course, several months ago, listen to this.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
The DOJ.
So what is it? Is it sitting on your office to review, or did it not happen? You know what I mean? So like they can't have it both ways. I think I can speak for just about everyone in the U.S. here where we're calling BS. I don't care if you're on the left or on the right. Clearly, Jeffrey Epstein had a client list of people that did heinous acts and completely illegal stuff on their Lolita Express and Epstein Island and all this crazy stuff. I don't care if it was Trump or Bill Clinton or whoever. Expose the list. Clean up like whoever was associated with this and get them out of there. Now, there's plenty of rumors as to why they're not sharing the list because it's, it's bad for all sides. I honestly don't know, but that's the thing. Give the American public the chance to do with the information what they want. And sort of digest it and come up with their own conclusions. That's what Elon Musk wants. Now, love him or hate him, because I think Elon Musk has had a rather meteoric decline following, like, he built his career on clean energy and then the left loved him. He was a darling. And then he kind of became like this guy who was like anti-woke because his trans daughter doesn't love him. I don't know. It's a wild example of people changing their ideologies because of their own personal shit. But here he did over the weekend a poll where he says, do you guys want a third party? And he responded by a factor of 2-1. You want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with wasting graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the American Party is formed to give you back your freedom. I mean, this is pretty insane stuff going on. Trump responded, I am saddened to watch Elon Musk go completely off the rails, becoming a train wreck over the past 5 weeks. So Trump wants people to believe that Elon Musk is starting this new party because he's upset that he's no longer going to get these electric vehicle, tax rebates and whatever. And look, I love the electric vehicle tax rebate. I bought a Tesla. I got the rebate myself, a $7,500 tax credit. It's a good incentive to get a car. I probably wouldn't have bought the car without it. But all rebates kind of are there for an incentive and then they go away. And they're not just there to benefit Tesla. They could benefit Rivian or any other electric car you wanted to buy. But Elon Musk responds, what's Truth Social? Never heard of it. Ooh, what a burn. And of course, he's trying to frame the story different, that it's not about the dang EV cuts. Elon Musk keeps on saying what it's about. The heck was the point of DOJ if he's just going to increase the debt by $5 trillion? Now, I don't know if this is really what's pissing Elon Musk off or not, but he does have a point, and a broken clock can be right twice a day. The point being that Trump and the Republican Party is increasing the debt by trillions and trillions of dollars. We will be spending our tax money. We'll be spending $750 billion to $1 trillion a year just servicing the interest of our national debt. We are crippled by it. The money can go to far better things, and it is just a burden being placed on my generation, my son's generation, and his son's generation. And the Republican Party, is a party that was supposed to stand by Christian values. We know that's not really something they care much about. Practice what you preach, right? Trump, of course, will hold the Bible up when it's convenient to him. He sells the Trump Bible made in China or whatever. But when it comes down to it, the actions that they're taking are not what the traditional conservative actions would be about small government. Of course, we know they used to preach states' rights, but now what does he want to do to states like California? Bring in the National Guard and the Marines, and it's like, whatever happened to letting governors govern, right? So Elon responds, fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Oh, he's doing haikus now. And of course, he shares, his response here. We haven't seen Elon Musk go full crazy the way he did several weeks ago when he mentioned that Trump is on Epstein's list or whatever the hell he did. But I mean, they are getting close. So yeah, but you're going to see Trump continue to say, oh, Elon Musk's mad at me about the electric thing. Maybe that's part of it. But I think more of it is the fact that he was hired. And by the way, DOJ is a complete failure. DOJ was a complete failure. They got rid of USAID, which literally is just killing dozens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, because we're not providing the aid that we were providing. It was a goodwill program. It was only 0.5% of our national budget. And of course, no money went into auditing or no time went into auditing the military, which is the largest big fat just chunk of where our money goes. So again, it's like, DOJ was a failure, but at the same time, if Elon Musk wants to rail about this national debt problem, I'm all about it. All right, so this is just absolute tragic story from over the weekend. Texas floods. Unbelievable. There's so much going on about, was the alert system right? Did they defund the meteorologist that would have warned of this? Either way, at this point, 80 plus people have died. So many of them were children that were just swept up. They were camping in their summer camps right on the banks of the river. Trump has approved disaster declaration. He says, declaration for Kerr County, Texas, to ensure that our brave first responders immediately have the resources they need. Now, folks have responded to this and said, well, you're giving money now, but where was the money, when they needed it to prevent or to warn about these sorts of disasters? Again, I don't really know. There's still a lot of, and sadly, this is the state of the world we live in, where whenever there's any disaster, the immediate thought is conspiracy theory, blame the other side, X, Y, and Z. But they will have to audit how they could have done a better job of just warning people to get away from the river. They did have a little bit of a heads up.
4 months of torrential rain fell in just hours in the early morning of July 4th. The original forecast called for 5 to 7 inches of rain to fall, but what actually happened is some places got as much as 15 inches, which triggered that ravaging flooding.
We will do everything humanly possible, 24/7, looking at every tree, turning over every rock, whatever it takes. If your child is one of those truly missing and not just out of touch, to find your daughter.
Officials say at least 80 people have died, including dozens of children in Kerr County, where several girls and one camp counselor are still missing from Camp Mystic.
Yeah, and again, you're going to find just so many heart-wrenching stories that we can't cover right now, but here we have actually a reporter, Pamela Brown, was a camper at Camp Mystic 3 decades ago, talks about firsthand the magical place that, again, was just swept away.
So here we are at Camp Mystic. I was about to do a live shot and law enforcement came up and said we had to evacuate because a water wall is coming. So our crew is packing up, and quickly I just wanted to show you where I am. I mean, these are the cabins where the little girls were sleeping during the flash flooding over 4th of July. And I can't stop thinking about the fact I was a little camper in one of those cabins 30 years ago. And this river right here, the Guadalupe River, was a source of so much joy and fun. We would use the blob where...
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just horrifying to think that this... I mean, you can't necessarily prevent the flood itself, but you can find... And there's a lot of talk about this community. They had the chance to put some of their tax dollars to warning people with a siren system. I mean, I live in a community now that I live here in Tennessee where there are sirens that go off when there's about to be a tornado. You don't have much of a warning, but you have a little bit. Why were there not warnings? And these are the questions that we don't have answers to right now, but I think it's very fair that people are asking. Here was the question about whether the cuts to the federal government left key vacancies at the National Weather Service.
Okay. Are you investigating whether some of the cuts to the federal government left key vacancies at the National Weather Service or in the emergency coordination?
No, they did not.
They did. I'll tell you, if you look at that what a situation that all is, and that was really the Biden setup. That was not our setup, but I wouldn't blame Biden for it either. I would just say this is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
I wouldn't blame Biden, but it's the Biden setup. Okay, now the only, like I've said this before and I'll say it a million times, if I pimp for anybody, it's Ryan Grimm. If I don't know how I feel about something because I don't have all the information, I trust Ryan Grimm. We live in a world where you have to trust people over organizations because a lot of organizations are bought or paid for, or they take donor money from different places. Ryan Grimm seems to ask all the right questions.
That the last people I want to hear complain about shortcomings of the National Weather Service or NOAA are the very same people who agitated for the firing of so many meteorologists and scientists at NOAA and the National Weather Service. In fact, if you just Google this, the meteorologist charged with warning and dealing with the media, Paul Yura, left National Weather Service. He was in the San Antonio, Austin office, left in April because of the cuts. He took this early retirement that was offered by Elon Musk's fork in the road, where they're trying to get people out. And then there was a hiring freeze. So they could not replace him, because the idea here is you're going to, push a whole bunch of people out, and then you're not going to replace them. And through attrition, you'll gradually, shrink down the size of the government. There was no question of, is this warning coordinator an important position? Should we wait until we have somebody that can do this essential job? It was just anybody that we can get out legally as quickly as possible, we're going to either fire them or encourage them to take early retirement.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened with Musk, right? I mean, that's what they did. When you take over a company like Twitter, and the worst thing that can happen is you break Twitter and then you fix it and you realize who was essential, who wasn't, and that's okay. It's a website. But when you're talking about human lives, I mean, whether it's the traffic control, air traffic control, and possible collisions between helicopters and jets, and all of the catastrophic issues that could exist in the framework of basically government positions, right? These government positions, are we going to have the hurricane plane flying this fall during hurricane season that's going to do all of the necessary research to determine path and strength of hurricanes? Do we have the funding for that? A lot of people have said, no, that's not even going to happen anymore. Can I look at my weather app on my phone and properly even think that it's accurate now? Is the funding there? So the doubt that's going to be coming into people's minds during times like this is terrible. I mean, how can you possibly have a children's camp on the banks on the fork of a river and not have a warning system ready to go in case those floods and those rivers rise? These are questions you have to ask. It's not too soon to have this discussion, because it's something else is going to happen tomorrow or the next week or the week after that, whether it's hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, other, casualty events. We need to get this in order. And this is where you really see the competency of government. And again, this doesn't mean that the Biden administration knocked it out of the park, or there's always going to George Bush and Katrina, and there's always going to be issues that arise where maybe the government doesn't meet the moment. Absolutely. It's up to us taxpayers to make sure we vote in the right people that are going to be competent in putting the experts that we need at the different positions. This is not where you want to save your money. Sure, have the agencies set up that go over waste, fraud, and abuse, right? We already had that with we had a few different organizations that were supposed to be overlooking that. But when DOJ comes in, the reason why they couldn't save more money is because any fraud that already existed was already being actively scrubbed out. So then they go after things like the meteorologist who's supposed to help warn people or set up systems that warn of national disasters. Like, this is so dang preventable. In Texas, is seemingly, I guess has this pride within their governors turning down aid money for school lunches, for summer like food programs. Like, what the hell are they doing there? Vote with your dollar, folks. Show up, speak your mind, and don't be afraid to like vote people out of office if they are not protecting you and actively trying to make the world a safer place, right? That's kind of what it comes down to. So we'll have more with regard to not just the floods, but all these other stories on the Afternoon Rush. We do it twice a day, every morning and every afternoon. So we'll see you then. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.